Apple came out with a statement yesterday where they publicly apologized for some of the issues that the third generation MacBook Pro keyboards have had. So they said, "We are aware that a small number of users are having issues with their third generation Butterfly keyboard, and for that, we are sorry." And they're referencing the keyboards in the 2018 MacBook Pro. So these are the kind of like the third generation of that Butterfly switch keyboard. And it's Apple. It's a public statement. It's a obviously curated statement that admits a little bit of fault, but doesn't open them up to like too much attack. Now, to understand this issue a little bit better, I have to talk about their first Butterfly keyboard. It was 2015. They built this 12-inch MacBook that was super thin, super light, and in order to have a keyboard in this thing, they had to build that new switch that could fit into that chassis. And then a year later, they came out with these devices, the 13-inch MacBook Pro and the 15-inch MacBook Pro, very popular devices. But keyboard issues start to happen right away. Like immediately, there were issues with how these keyboards were performing, just not the keyboard experience, right? Like everyone's going to have a different take on how these keyboards feel, but the reliability and the durability of these keyboards were questionable right from day one. And because of the number of issues that people were having with these keyboards, Apple actually put a page on their website to show people how to clean their keyboards with compressed air. The issue was that dust or other particulate matter was getting stuck underneath the keycap and messing up the switch mechanism. And on a key switch that is so shallow with such a small travel distance, it is really easy to get jammed up. The thing is, the problem persisted. They continued selling MacBook Pros that had problems with keyboards, and then finally, in June of 2018, they announced a keyboard repair program where you could take a MacBook or a MacBook Pro, as long as it had a Butterfly switch keyboard, you could bring it to a store and they would fix it, give it back to you in a week. And then, in 2018, they also announced their third generation MacBook Pro, and that's where we are today. This device here is a 2018 MacBook Pro. This has a membraned keyboard, and it was supposed to fix these keyboard issues. They never publicly stated that the membrane was designed for this, but in repair documents sent to service centers, it was mentioned. But here we are today in 2019 with a public apology from Apple stating that these third generation Butterfly keyboards still have problems. Now, my personal experience with these Butterfly keyboards, I've had 2 machines go down. I've owned a total of 4 keyboards that have Butterfly switches in them, and 2 of them have had these issues, my 12-inch MacBook as well as my 2018 13-inch MacBook Pro. And this issue is very widespread. If you go on Twitter or just search around on YouTube, you will see a lot of content creators have had issues with these particular keyboards. The big picture here, though, is that these keyboards undeniably have some sort of problem. It doesn't matter how much you like or dislike Apple, a keyboard on a laptop should not fail with this frequency. It's abnormal and it's unfortunate. Now, it's good that they've addressed it in the past, and they will probably include the new 2018 third generation keyboards into that list for the keyboard repair program. But the biggest problem is that they are not actually fixing this problem. They're not re-engineering a keyboard and putting a new problem-free keyboard in here. They're using the exact same keyboard that your laptop shipped with. They're not even putting the membraned version in the older ones. So they're not really fixing the problem. They're putting band-aids all over the place, and I've seen a lot of reports on Reddit of people just going through their second, third, fourth repair process, and it's just like, that's what we have. And it's because I don't think Apple can actually fix these keyboards in this chassis. They've done what they can. A membrane helps it a little bit, I'm sure, but they're confined by the design of these laptops. They're thin, they're beautiful, they're lightweight, but you clearly have issues with things like keyboard and other issues that I've mentioned in the past. So my advice is this. If you're thinking of buying a MacBook Pro right now, I would hold out. I really think that their redesign this year, the 2019 version, is gonna fix this. I think they're going to redesign the whole chassis because they have to. There's a lot of issues with these devices. The keyboard is one of the things that they need to fix.